Alright, so today we are going to try something that I don't know if it will physically work. If you see the video, I must have got it to work. So I have this Gator 12 volt power wheel thing that I bought for my kids years ago, and it has been used and abused. Now the motor itself is fine, the battery is shot, and the body is kind of beaten up and broken down. So instead of going out and buying a new battery and then this thing lasting another 10 minutes before my kids take it off another set of stairs, we are going to attempt to take all of the working innards of this and put it on that. So, this is the ski bike trike. If you saw the video I put out earlier, that's this. We're going to put some wheels back on it, try to take the motor, put it in there, and make a drift trike. This might be over my fabrication skills. It might not be. So let's just start tearing into things, see if this is even possible. Let's get dusty. Alright, so before I start really going crazy and tearing things apart, let me actually show you what is actually wrong with this Gator. So in the back, we have the tailgate that is on the floor, but one of the actual latch pieces that go on the tailgate are broken. Then you circle around to the side over here, and you'll notice that the roll cage piece right here is snapped off, so that just does that. Also, I believe both back tires are very much busted. You run around to the front cover for the battery, that is missing. One of the lenses is missing. And over here, one of the things that the bar that holds your kid from sliding all around, that is also missing. So first things I need to do is I need to pull the motor and electronics area of this so I can see how big it is, the gear setup, and all that stuff to see if it's even possible to fit it to this. So let's montage ripping this apart. So that broke down a lot faster than what I thought it was going to. Really, I was expecting like a centralized motor with a bunch of gearing. Realistically, it looks like it's two separate motors to run each wheel. It runs up into a almost like a gear shifter for high, low, and reverse. It's got this bad boy, which I'm not sure what that does, and it's got your pedal switch, and then your battery plug-in. So really, pull these two motors out, swap this axle over there, put some wheels on there. It sounds simple, probably not going to be that simple, but looks maybe doable. So motors came out with just two screws. The axle was just one single piece. It all came out really smooth. So here's all the pieces that I'm going to end up needing to use. I got both the motors here. I'm going to have to stick with the same tires. I didn't want to because they're broken, and I was hoping to get something maybe a little more smooth. Hoping to maybe switch out with the fronts, but because of that back red piece, that locks in with the motor, so I have to use that same system. But that's not bad. You got your axle right here, and then the electronics. Now that's all that I'm going to need to fiber cobble it onto here. All right, I'm gonna get everything laid out. I'm gonna try to actually come up with an actual plan now. Everything mocked into place, and whoa, little dirt there. I got everything mocked into place, and you would think that this thing was built to be put together. Look at that. So it went. First of all, I kept the front tire originally off the bike when I made the ski bike trike, but look at this setup right here. Like this thing was like built for training wheels and to get set up. There is a little alignment issue I have, which I think I can correct pretty easily. But that's how it's going to be. I just got to figure out the wiring and how I'm actually going to keep these from just spinning. Man, it's quick coming along quick and well. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out a way to mount these motors because they have to be mounted stationary to the frame because this is the part that spins, and if it's not, then it's just going to do this. So I got to figure out a way to stationarize this up. Now on the Gator, it was mounted this way, but on this I want to mount it back here. But what I'm looking at is on the Gator, the back end of the Gator, is already basically, it's set up for this situation already. So I'm wondering, because I was going to do a bunch of metal fab, I'm wondering if it might just be easier to take the back of the gator and butcher that plastic and make that kind of work, and then still have it plated here. And then in theory, if I can make that work, that will also encase most of the motor and stuff without leaving it exposed with the wiring. So I'm going to try butchering up the back of that thing and seeing if I can make it work to this. Okay, everything is kind of in where it's supposed to be. I think it's still gonna be tightened. I got the motors and everything, the axle. I'm gonna try to see if it'll move. So it does work around and spin, but what I'm concerned about, and I was just figuring this out, and I should have figured this out to begin with, is because I'm only using the back end, which is not connected to the frame at all. It's just twisting this area, so I'm gonna have to lock that onto there, some more trimming, but we're rolling. So here's what I'm thinking for the best way to keep this back chassis spot from rocking is I'm going to take and actually do, and ignore my crappy welds, is I'm going to take and do a box type thing right here, and then I'll actually sink some bolts through here. I think that should help. I'm also, possibly if I can, box it up to here and bolt there. That should keep it from teeter-tottering around. Okay, so after a night to think about it and look at pictures of it and show people, I don't like it. I think it looks too much like I just cut the back off of a gator and just put it on a bike. I mean, essentially, that is what I did. What I got going on in here is working. It's stabilizing up, but I don't like it. So I got a different plan. I think I'm going to scrap all this work and try to make it, because I want it to not look stupid. And right now, I think it looks stupid. So I'm going to cut off the work I did and try something different. Okay, ignore the screaming kids in the background. They're having a good time. So this is the new setup. So I did a cross support up here, which ties into there, and I was still able to use the brackets off of the gator. But I do got to do a little more trimming, a little more welding, a lot more grinding. So once I get that done, but I think that's pretty solid, and I'm pretty happy with that. So now it's going to be trying to figure out how to incorporate the switch and all the electronic stuff. So your electronics on this are really simple. You need a battery, you need your switch, and then you need what I'm going to refer to as the transmission. So those are the only three components I need to attach. So I think with the transmission, I think it kind of fits pretty nicely right here. Thinking I might do some kind of fabrication thing to keep that way when you're riding, you can right here, because it has high, low, and reverse, and I don't really want to lose the reverse. Don't really care about the low. But and then you need the battery, which I didn't tell you guys this. Surprise, mosquito. Surprise! I'm going to upgrade the 12-volt system to an 18-volt system with the Milwaukee battery. Now, if something fries in this, well, so I'm going to try to attach this back here. I think A would look cool. B, functionality wise, it can go right there. It like screams, put me inside there. And then the switch, all it is just literally, it's a button switch. I'm gonna run this up into like a thumb throttle up here, and that's pretty much all the wiring I have to do. So I gotta build a couple mounting points, and then we're gonna call this thing ready for a quick test drive. All right, here's the plan for the switch mounting bracket. Plan on buzzing this part off. There's where the switch will cut through, fold some pieces, bend, and I'm gonna put it right up there, weld it on. This is something a little bit new to me, so let's see how bad I screw this up. Okay guys, first of all, I will tell you, when you're working with metal, wear gloves. That's a safety tip. Okay? I almost cut the tip of my fingers off. How? It's not getting the details. But now check this bad boy out. Alright, so that fits. So now, I'm going to try to create kind of a concord portion all up here to go kind of meet that handlebar area. And then I'm going to take this little end right here, a little bender, to try to hide some of the wires, I guess. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, wow, this guy looks like an idiot. He has no idea what he's doing. I'm not going to argue with you. Metal fab is something that I'm still dabbling in. Still learning. Still probably using wood tools to do it. Like that wood file. That might be a metal file. The file's metal. I don't know. So if you're watching this and you think I'm stupid, I am self-taught, self-teaching. So you can enjoy. Best I can do. Okay, before I show you guys the finished throttle switch, I believe it was my ice fishing auger video that somebody had commented, not every good grinder is a good welder, but every good welder is a good grinder. I live by that motto, whoever it was. If you are watching, that's actually amazing that you're watching. I appreciate you. But so here you go. This is it. I mean, it's not too bad. Alright, so I did not record a lot of this bracket build, and that's strictly because I was having so much fun actually getting to do it. I mean, I burned myself quite a bit, but it was worth it because this thing was actually really cool. So I was able to use like the factory like mounting point, so it drops in. Got to put up a couple screws in it, but you'll be able to shift while you're riding. You're going to be shifting back here. Reverse will be a little goofy because you got to back back there, but you get to ride and just kind of, it's cool. You only need second gear anyway, but it came out really good. And one thing I'm really impressed with is my welds, so let me show you those. I know I'm like far from the best welder, but I'm learning and I'm getting a lot better. Okay, if you were actually a good welder and you saw those, I don't mean to call them good. I call them good for me and my Harbor Freight welder. So I have most of my brackets on. The last thing I need to do is I'm waiting for a part to come in for the battery connection. And once that is, I got to build the connection for that. And then we are ready to just finish her up. Alright, today my battery adapter-y thing arrived in the mail here. So all this does is this allows me to take my Milwaukee battery and put it the right way on there. And now there you go. Now those are hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach a plate to the back underneath this spider webbing. Attach a plate there, not that direction, this direction, so I can get the battery off. So I got to cut a plate, weld it up, and then we'll be good to just finish this bad boy up. Alright, she's grinding down, fabricated, ready to be prettied up a little bit. As you can see, I've already got the some of the spider webs. I re-hit them with another coat of red to kind of make a pop because some of them kind of got a little dingy from the weld splatter. So I don't let it paint the whole thing, just a couple little spots. First things first, turn on the air purifier. And now let's pretty her back up. Alright, I got the box mounted for the battery, so now it's just time to do the rest of the wiring, which is the switch, motors, the rest of that kind of stuff. So we're going to have to do a little bit of extension of some wires to make everything kind of fit. Should be pretty simple. Let's do it. I think that pretty much sums it up. Okay, my wiring is all done. I actually tested it to make sure that it worked and everything seemed to work. So now it's just a matter of buttoning it up and making it look prettier for the in wiring retrospect. So I'm just going to wrap a ton of electrical tape because I thought I had some of that flex black conduit. I only have blue and it just wouldn't look right. So we're going to use just electrical tape. And then I picked these up, use zip ties with holes in them. So I'm going to try to screw underneath and then zip tie that so it all holds together instead of just electrical taping it all together. So I'm going to make this thing a little prettier that way, and then we're going to actually finish by putting it all together, finally. Alright, so I have all the wiring buttoned up and where I want it up to the back axle portion. And one thing about wiring you want to remember is if you're doing wiring on moving parts, is make sure that you give yourself the ability for those wires to move and not be caught by anything. So I'm going to get that all set up before I button up the rest of it. But this thing is ready to slap some more stuff together on it. And then let's put it back together. She's done. She's ready to rip. Check this out. So I have my Milwaukee M18 8.0 battery on here. So we're not going to run her for very long, but we're going to run her just long enough. So she is ready to be tested. So let's go see if we can find some crazy kid crazy enough to get on this. Wait a minute. You guys didn't think I was actually going to let my kids test drive this first, did you? Alright, this is the legit first test. Okay. Holy shoot. Okay. Ooh. She doesn't like that. Apparently, I didn't like the 8.0 battery. I dropped her down to a 3.0, so. Alright. Okay. Found someone brave enough. So I got him helmeted up for all you moms out there. Because this was not mother approved.
Tall. Like my knees hit the thing.
Well, you don't need a pedal.
Well, it works. I can do donuts.
Okay, what'd you think?
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah.
Better than the Gator?
Yes.
Better than the Drift, or the ski bike trike?
Yeah.
Works good.
Backwards is like impossible.
Oh yeah, I didn't put it on high.
I know, that's...
Talk battery life here. So we tried the 3.0 battery and that didn't quite do it for me. We did the 5.0, that was a little better. I tried the 8.0 earlier and it was just too much power. 6.0 seems to be smooth sailing. We did it with, I had 1 bar remaining on that battery and we probably got about 8 minutes out of that. So I'm thinking maybe 25, half an hour out of one 6.0 battery, which isn't too bad. Guys, this thing is sweet. It's probably one of the favoriteest things that I've made on this channel. It was almost like the Gator and the ski bike trike wanted to become one. That's how flawlessly this thing went together. The back axle on the Gator and the training wheels from the ski bike trike that I put on earlier meshed up very well. I think it's about an inch spacer in there to make everything sit perfectly. And it went together really easily, really well. There is a drawback to it, and the drawback, I should have saw this coming, is the throttle is on this side, and then your transmission lever is also on this side. So in order to do reverse, you kind of got to do one of these numbers. So, not very practical to use. I should have put the lever over on this side, but it's awesome. My son did complain that the button is a little too hard to press, so I can probably put a little foam or something on that. Other than that, though, this thing went together amazingly. I'm super pumped about it, and I'm really happy. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you like this, let me know down below. This is the Franken-Trike. And we will see you guys on the next one.
Hi ho, Silver! Away!